Hi there, this is a crochet tutorial for yarn over slip stitch ribbing. And I just gathered my materials here. I have a 10mm crochet hook and some Aran weight yarn. Now I'm going to do a slip knot for my hook, and I'm going to get ready to make 11 chain stitches. And if you look up in that top left hand corner, I'll be putting all of the abbreviations for this pattern there. So you can always read while you follow along. Now that we have that base row of chains done, we're ready to start on row 1. So you want to skip that first chain from the hook and yarn over and insert your hook into the next stitch right there. And yarn over again and pull your yarn through all 3 of the loops on the hook. And you're going to repeat that for a total of 10 times. When you finish row 1, you want to make sure that you do a really big loose chain as your turning chain, because we're going to be working in that later. Alright, now we're ready to do row 2. Wrap your yarn around your hook and skip that first stitch from the last row. Now you want to work this next stitch into the back loop only, like I'm doing right here. And you're going to work almost all of the stitches into the back loop only, except for that last stitch of the row. So again, we're going to have a total of 10 stitches, and this includes the last yarn over slip stitch that's going into both rows, and that first chain. And for this last stitch, we're not going to work into the back loop only, we're going to go through both of the loops, just like I'm doing right now. So now I'm finishing up row 2, and I'm going to make a nice loose turning chain. Oop, I lost my yarn there for a second. And I'm going to get started on row 3. Now I'm going to be working on row 3, and the pattern for that is exactly the same as row 2. I'm just going to go through everything that I did in row 3 just as a little refresher. Now that I'm getting closer to finishing row 3, you can really see the ribbing pattern starting, and I really like how it looks. It almost looks like it's been knit, but it's actually been crocheted, which is a lot faster. Now that row 3 is almost done, I'm going to move on to rows 4 through 9. I'm skipping right through these because the pattern is exactly the same as rows 2 and 3. I'm also going to skip through the whole finishing off process, and I'll be right back to talk about the stitch. So here's my completed swatch, and I love how stretchy and plush it feels. I also did the same stitch with a much smaller hook and worsted weight yarn, and I really like how that came out too. You can always experiment with different weights and hook sizes. Let me know what you think about this stitch in the comments below. Happy crocheting!